Sorry brothers, the program's about to start, so if the brothers can come closer inshallah, so spreading out. Just do come close as you can inshallah. So today we have brother Adel Ghadban, who is a motivational speaker, a da'i from Canada, who's come here, he's touring the UK, a few Masjid here. He's one of the students of Sheikh Walid Basuni, very well known and well renowned Sheikh from the USA. So inshallah this is going to be, it would be a reminder that's going to impact you all inshallah. Many different fawaid and reminders in here. So do sit back inshallah, don't be on your phones, switch them off inshallah. 15-20 minutes at max, short, sweet and simple. And yeah, jazakumullah khair.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم ثم أما بعد. I want you guys to take a little ride with me. I want you guys to imagine this with me. All of a sudden you wake up. You look to the left, you see your mother crying. You're confused. You look to the right, you see your brother crying, who you've never seen cry before is crying. You look in the back of the room, you see your dad looking straight and confused and his face is white, and you are don't have no idea what's happening. You look at your mom again, she's holding your little sister's hand, she's crawled up on the floor crying, and she's upset. And you look at your brother and you're like, what's happening, bro? And in his tears, he's not able to answer you. Then you look right back to your mother and you say, Mom, what's happening? And so your mom gets that energy, she holds herself back, she stops crying for a couple of seconds and she looks at you and says, Habibi, you were in a car crash. And the doctors say you just have a couple of minutes more to live. And she goes back to crying. You get so confused, you go back to your look straight, you don't even look at her anymore, and you start thinking, what? Like this is it? I'm actually about to die? Like all this time people tell me about death, I hear people that have passed away, but none of them have ever come back to life and told me what's happened. I'm about to go to this world I've never heard about, never seen, completely confused, you're scared. Everybody around you is crying, but forget them, I'm gonna die. And you look in the corner of the room and you still see your dad looking straight like he's completely shocked. But beside him you start seeing people. You've never seen anything like these people, these creations before. They are people that look beautiful and smell beautiful and are well dressed. And you're like wondering, who are these people? You don't even know why they're here. And they smile at you. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ. Verily the people who said, my Lord is Allah, and they stayed firm on these words. Rabbi is Allah in those most hard situations, when people are shaking your deen. My Lord is Allah, and they stayed firm, the angels descend upon them. When? Now. When you're just about to die. And so, they tell you something. The first thing they tell you is, don't be scared. Why? Because you're probably freaking out. I don't care how tough you are, I don't care who you are. Once we tell you this is the time for you to die, there will be some sort of fear, some sort of worry. Because you're about to enter somewhere you've never seen, somewhere you didn't heard any, you've seen no creations like that before. You're about to enter a world of the unseen. So the first thing they tell you is don't be scared. The second is don't even not be scared, don't even worry. وَلَا تَحْزَنْ. And to be honest, Abshir, actually we got some good news. You passed. You passed. You made it. Abshiru bil Jannah, the paradise. الذي كنتم به توعدون, that the paradise that you were promised. Where were you promised it? Every time you were reading the Quran, every time you were going through the Quran, it says the Jannah for the Muttaqeen, Jannah for the Sabirin, Jannah for the Khashi'een. You were that Khashi'ah, you were that Sabir, you were that person. You passed. We were your friends in this hayat dunya wal akhirah. We were your companions in this world and in the next life. You didn't see us here, but we were here. We were following you. And we're going to follow you in the next world. We were your boys, and we will remain your boys. And in this middle of this conversation, you see a creation you've never seen before. He smiles at you. He's happy. He's the best thing you've ever seen in your life. And he's taking you to start that journey. He's happy to meet you, comes and takes your soul out. And you're excited. You just want to tell your mom, Mom, don't cry, I'm okay. Nobody can hear you. That creation takes you, gives you to other creations you've never seen before. They have clothing you've never seen before. It looks amazing, smells amazing. And you put it on you. Damn, you look good. Inshallah. And then they take you up to the skies. And then you start seeing creations you've never seen before. And they start telling you that that's the pious guy. That's the generous guy. That was the guy that was fearing Allah. That is the soldier of Allah. That guy was the beast of... That person used to pray Qiyam al-Layl even when everybody was sleeping. That is the person who was obedient to his mother. That was the person who took care of his kids. That was the person who took care of his parents. That was the... And they start boosting. Not only do you feel good, smell good, but you actually feel psychologically amazing. Whoa, like, whoa. Okay, this feels good. And they bring you back to earth. And then they bring you back to earth. All of a sudden you start hearing people crying and you realize that, oh my God, this is my janazah. People are at my janazah. I'm dead. And you just want to tell them, Mama, don't cry. I'm okay. I made it. Baba, don't worry. I'm chill. I'm good. And they come to leave and your soul comes to leave with them. And then all of a sudden you see two creations come to you. And they ask you, who is your Lord? You're like, my Lord, the one that I used to worship every day? Allah? My Lord is Allah. Alhamdulillah, they ask you the next question. You pass that in flying colors. They ask you, what did you used to say about that man that was sent to you? You say, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the man that I tried to emulate, the person that I used to praise when I heard his name, the person that I tried to be like, that I loved more than myself and my family. That's easy. The person who was sent to me was the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And then they ask you, what is the religion that you have been received? What is the religion that was sent to you? Or in another narration, what is that book that was sent to you? And you say, my religion, my deen, my way of life was the way of life that Allah wanted for me, Islam. That book was the Quran. And you pass in flying colors, and these creations are so proud of you, and then these other creations come and they show you a place that looks so beautiful you might even think was Jannah because it looks so amazing. But then they open up a window and they say, by the way, this is just a little temporary place. You see that place over there? That's your place. But just don't worry, take this little nap, and inshallah that's where you're going. And then you wake up. You wake up and you look to the left and you see your mother crying. You look to the right, you see your brother who you've never seen crying before, he's crying. And you're so confused, you look in the corner of the room, you look, your dad's looking straight, not even looking at you, he's shell-shocked, he's confused, his face is white. And then you want to look at your mother again, she's holding something to the ground, it's your sister, and she's crying all on the ground, and her heart is crying. And you look at your brother, you're like, bro, what's happening? And your brother's not even able to answer you, he's just weeping. And then you're like, Mom, what's happening? And your mom musters up that courage. She stops crying for a second. She says, Habibi, you were in a car crash. And you have just a couple minutes left to live. And so they start crying again, but what? I'm about to die. And you look straight and you get confused, even though everybody's crying around you. You can't believe what just been told to you, that these are your last moments to to live. And as you start going through everything in your head, like, yeah, I know death is real, but me, I'm gonna die? And you look at your dad in the back of the room and his face is white. And all of a sudden you see something on your right. You've never seen anything more disgusting, more scary. You get confused. What is this thing? This thing is not even happy to be there, and it wants to. He says, I'm here to take your soul. You? Your own soul will try to find a place to hide, so it hides nowhere except in your own body. But that creation, that creature, comes and snatches your soul completely out of your body. Your own body's trying to escape it, so it's ripped out. And now it's so much pain. You've never felt pain like it before. And it's so disgusted with your soul, it gives it to another creation that puts some clothing on top of you. That is, you don't know where it's made. It feels fire on you, and they take you up to the skies. And they're disgusted like you're a piece of garbage now. They brought up to the skies. And then all of a sudden, creations you've never seen before starts telling you that that was the Zani. That was the person that used to cheat. That was the hypocrite. That was the person that when people trusted him, he broke their trust. That was the person that at night, in the mornings, acted pious, Sheikh, Mufti, and at night, you know what he was? That was the person that pretended to be the best. In this world, when somebody says something negative about us, it hurts our feelings. It destroys our psychology. Now imagine amazing creations calling you the worst things you've ever been called. The worst things. And now not only is your skin burning in pain, but all of a sudden you feel shocked and hurt and psychologically destroyed. You thought you understood depression until you were there. And then they smash you back to the ground. And all of a sudden you hear people crying. And you realize that the people are crying is because it's your janazah. And you want to say, Mama, help me. Mama, help me. Baba, please take me out of here. But nobody could hear you. Nobody could hear any of your screams, any of your cries. And you're just there. And then they come and they bow to leave. And you just want to follow them. But then your soul comes right back. And two angels, two creations. The odor smells horrible. They look horrible. You've never seen anything scarier. And you thought you understood darkness. But there was no darkness you've ever seen darker than that. And they come to you and they speak to you. They say, who is your Lord? My Lord. My Lord. Who is my Lord? I don't know. And then they hit you. Then they ask, who was that man that was sent to you? Who was sent to me? I don't know. And then they hit you. And they ask you, what is that religion that was sent to you? What is that book that was sent to you? I don't know. And then they hit you. And then they take you in a place you've never seen scarier. You hear the screams, you hear the agony, and you look around, and one person in the corner is having his mouth ripped up one side, and then by the time this one is fixed, his other side is being ripped up. You see another person in the corner lying down, and some creation above it takes a big boulder, breaks it on his rock, on his face, and you look in the corner, you see people being burned alive, and you're confused. You might think this is hell. You might think this is Jahannam. You made it to hell. And they tell you, no, 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 this is not hell. They open up a window and they show you your place in hell. They say, this is not your hell. This is just your temporary place. That's where you're going. There. This is just your temporary place that you'll stay for God knows how long. But get ready, because that's where you're going. And I want to wake you guys up one more time. And this last time, you're not in no hospital bed and going to paradise or going to hellfire. You're waking up right here, right now. Here. Because the reality of things is, if Allah were to be sending us to hellfire, one of the things we get to consistently throughout the Quran is we're going to say, Ya Allah, bring me back. Have you ever thought, where would you have been wanting to get back? If you were there, where would you and when would you ever want to be back? At what point in your life would you want to be back? Wouldn't it be right now when you are young, in the most blessed days of the year? Maybe right before Arafah, in Dhul Hijjah, where the actions are multiplied. When they asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, He talks to them and he says that there are no actions that are more beloved to Allah than these days. They say, not even jihad, Ya Rasulullah. What is jihad, bro? It's you tell your mom, your daughter, your sister, I'm about to go fight. I don't know if I'm going to come back. I'm going to go and maybe die. And the Prophet ﷺ said, not even jihad. Except that a person goes out with himself and his money and he doesn't come back with anything. The only thing that is better than actions in this first 10 days of the Hijjah is to die. Literally die for the sake of Allah. And you guys are here. You know, there's a reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala consistently dismisses the people who say, Ya Allah, bring me back. And Allah says, Kalla. He says no. Why? Because it's just a statement He's saying. Because you had your time. You had your places. You had your moments where you could wake up. And this is one of the moments you can wake up. I don't care what you've been doing before. I don't care where you've been. But if you could wake up right this instant, you've won. Because it's sufficient for you to make your intention that you're going to change today and to take actions that you will change. That if you were to die outside of this room, that your path could be completely different by the way that your path was before you entered this room. Now, the topic for today was misconceptions of Islam, or challenges that we go through. Amongst the biggest challenges that we forget is the challenge that you know your Lord is the most merciful. But the challenge that why do I say that? Because we are faced with a million problems nowadays. The problems of society taking us over, making us think a certain way and do certain things, and we consistently forget that there is an end. We consistently forget that there will be a moment where, whether we like it or not, there will be the angel of death that will come and take our soul. And there's going to be a moment where we're going to be happy to see him or sad to see him. There's going to be a moment that we're just not going to be alive. And so amongst the things that I want to protect, to tell you about, is to make sure to take care of these couple of days that you have. The Hijjah is almost done. The first thing how you can fix your Hijjah is with your intention. Fix your intentions, folks. Intentions is one of those things that you can get rewarded even though you do very minimal work. You're sitting right now in the masjid, have the intention to learn for the sake of Allah. Have the intention that you're trying to meet your brothers for the sake of Allah. If you're sitting till Aisha, have your intention that you're sitting waiting for the next salah for the sake of Allah. You're doing the same action and two of you, you're doing the same thing and one of you is getting rewarded than the other one. The second thing is your dhikr. Wallahi, we forget the little things in Islam. You wake up in the morning, make your dhikr. Before you go to sleep, make your dhikr. Ask Allah to forgive you. رَضِيتُ بِاللَّهِ رَبَّا وَبِالْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا وَبِمُحَمَّدٍ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم is one of our morning dhikr that we completely neglected. These are the questions of our grave. Say the istighfar, asking Allah to have mercy on us. Whether if you're to say it in the morning and you die, you die and enter paradise. Why would you neglect these couple of seconds of actions? Look, a lot of times we'll come up here and tell you guys, you need to drop some qiyam al-layl every day, 17 ruk'at per night, and you're like, whoa, like, okay, inshallah. Well, I'm telling you some basics. Fix your intention. There's a reason why we start every khutbah. I didn't even start it with this, but I will end it with this, that إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Verily, every action will be based on your intentions. وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَا نَوَىٰ. And you will get what you've intended. You could be doing the same action from the person beside you, and two of you will be getting two different rewards. Fix your intention and fix your dhikr. Dhikr is the remembrance of Allah. Say Bismillah before you eat. Before you enter the masjid, do your dua. When you leave, when you sit, when you get up, on the way, say dua, safar, when you're going somewhere. Make sure your tongue is consistently remembering Allah. And I want to finish off with learn your deen. This might be the longest one, because it might take you forever, it might take you a year, it might take you for the rest of your life. But I wanted to take you through this journey of hell and paradise, because you realize that this is going to be the reality of things. And I do want to tackle a lot of the misconceptions, but to be honest, every time I enter the masjid, I see people that are in love with the masjid. But I just want to remind you that there will be a death. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us and to honor us. And inshallah, in the Q&A, I would be love to ask, if you guys, don't ask me any fiqh questions, I'm not a sheikh. I just give da'wah. If you guys have any da'wah questions, I'd be more than happy to answer. But remember, there will be a time that you are going to scream, mama, mama, and she can't hear you. And there's going to be a time you could just tell your mom you're going to be okay. And she can't hear you. Let's just make sure that you're on the right side. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك سبحانك ربي رب العزه عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Like I said, I'm not doing any fiqh questions. You guys have actually a very knowledgeable shaykh. This is who you need to try to have a connection with your local scholars. But if you have any general questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Basically, this hadith says Jannah is the Imam
Sheikh, what do you think of that?
That narration that you mentioned is da'if, but there's another narration which says, and your mom's feet, Fatarna Jannah, that the Jannah is there. But the one you mentioned is weak, but that one is authentic. Overall, that's what it means. Your Jannah is under your mom's. Barakallah.
Sheikh, any advice for us? There's a couple of days left for the Hajj. What any recommendations?
Who was there today for the lecture after Asr? Raise your hand.
Alright.
The one and only. That was the topic about. And the reminder that Brother Yahya Rabi gave, which is very important for all of us. A few days left, we need to utilize that. These few days, as we've been repeating the whole week, is the best 10 days of the whole year. Even in Ramadan, yes, even in Ramadan, it's better than that. Because that's what your Rasul said in the authentic hadith. Then we need to benefit these 10 days left. What is left? 10 days? I thought you guys are awake.
2 days.
3 days.
3 days.
To be precise. Right? Tomorrow? And the day after? And the day of Eid. The day of Eid is part of the 10 days. Don't take it out. Then we need to push ourselves. Read more of the Quran, read more of the dhikr, do more of khair, sadaqah. Any good deed that you do, helping someone who is in need of help. And always, sometimes when we say help someone, we're thinking financially. No, it's not always finance. There's many ways you can help someone. There's other ways you can help. Be helpful. Be kind.
Anything recommended specifically for Arafah?
For Arafah, it's fasting. That's the most important.
Why fasting, Sheikh?
Fasting, because that's the most important day, and the day with the dua of Arafah. There is no any other day with like that. Dua is special. All 10 days are important, but the day of Arafah is also more important in dua wise.
When is Arafah, Sheikh?
This Friday.
Do we get expiation for sins if we fast, Sheikh?
Yes, sins of 2 years. The Prophet said in the hadith, تحتسب على الله أن تكفر السنة التي قبلها والسنة التي بعدها. The year before and the year after. Are we not in need of that? Yes, absolutely. Because we are sinners, we know ourselves.
Can we fast it? Because I heard hadith, Sheikh. What do you think? That are we allowed to just fast for Friday?
Yes, because that is fasting Friday without any other reason. But this has a reason. Then you can single it out with fasting. Yes, you understand. Sorry, that brother was before you.
سأل السؤال.
Huh?
I was going to ask, can you fast?
I answered.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Go on.
It's wajib to do Imam. Is it like
No, but for the wealthy person, it's strongly recommended. Strongly recommended. Yeah. That's why it's very important that whoever who is capable, Allah blessed him with wealth to do the Quran.
You know, I just want to say, mashallah, tabarakallah, always have a connection with your local imam. You know, not a lot of imams care about their people. You know, you guys might see somebody have a couple of followers, think that they're the person to ask. Well, this is the person to ask. They're doing the real work. The speech, anybody could have made it, but wallahi, have a connection with your local imams. Ask your local imams your questions. Have people generally online, you could ask them. Inshallah, they'll take care of your answer. This is why I prefer always you ask your local imam. May Allah bless you, Sheikh. Anything else you want to tell us, Sheikh?
Anything else you want to ask first?
Well, this is your moment.
Keep me in your dua. Even our brother Adel, Ghadban, even though he's not Ghadban, he's smiley and bubbly. But then his name is saying Ghadban. That's his surname. He has no choice. What does Ghadban mean?
Angry.
Angry, yeah. But is he angry that you've seen him?
I've been screaming.
Yeah, but you are not angry. You are not an angry person naturally.
Always, guys, connect a link with your local.
Exactly.
Wallahi, especially if an imam cares about you guys like this. Don't get lost by the nice speech. It's the people of ilm you should always be around. May Allah bless you, Shaykh, and honor you and keep you firm on your deen, and may Allah increase the good work.
May Allah bless you and your Shaykh, my brother Basyuni. I love him so much. And we know each other very well, long time. Your imam is very old. Don't think he's young. When you pass 50, just imagine when you live half of a century. That little time. There's no little time.
It comes with the wisdom, Shaykh.
May Allah preserve us.
Yeah, 50
May Allah
years
protect
of
us all. 50 plus. I passed the 50. I'm very close now to what was the Queen thing, Jubilee. May Allah bless you all.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك سبحانك رب العزه عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين